To our top story, Ace Magashule is set to appear in court this morning, and Magashule was the premier of the Free State for 10 years.
In many ways, his government was a web of characters, many of them with rotten reputations. But the question now is, can prosecutors untangle that web? Let's get some context. Our reporter, Michael Marillier, joins us at the big screen. A very good morning to you, Michael. Magashule has faced allegations for years, but what do we know about the evidence?
Yeah, there have been books written about the Magashule years. Of course, he was the premier for 10 years, Nandi, and all sorts of allegations have emerged. But as you said, there is a web of characters around him, many of them in very high places. The interesting thing about this particular case is that there may not be a smoking gun. There may not be proof that Magashule was directly involved in an act of corruption. But it may not matter, because as Tulisizwe said a little bit earlier, he's been charged under the PRECA Act. So prosecutors won't necessarily have to prove that he was directly involved in a scam, or even that he benefited directly from the scam. That's how the PRECA Act works. And we have seen in the past, in corruption cases, that the testimony of witnesses can actually help in the prosecution. And remember this. There's a web of people around him who he's worked with over the last 10 years. So if prosecutors can get that web of characters to talk and give information, tell them what they know, perhaps it's bad news for Ace Magashule. Let's take a look at the web around the former premier of the Free State. Many of these people have actually testified at the state capture inquiry. For example, Intomotsi Mokesi, the former HOD of the Free State Housing Department. In fact, he's still in that position, quite interestingly enough. Tabani Zulu, the former Director General of the Human Settlements Department. Edwin Sodi, of course, we all know him. Remember the Ferrari and the Porsche that was taken away from his company a few weeks ago when the asset forfeiture unit swooped on several of these characters. And then Oli Mlamleli, she is the former mayor of Mangaung. She was also an MEC in Ace Magashule's government. All of these people have been arrested in connection with the asbestos case. So you have to wonder whether there isn't an incentive for them to share some information, to tell the NPA what they know about Ace Magashule.
I mean, Michael, that's just the asbestos scandal, right? And it seems that this gets even more and more complex in as far as this web is concerned. There's still the Vrede Dairy saga. There's still the billion-rand housing project. Yep. I mean, how do they also factor into this?
Brilliant question, Tomelo. I mean, remember the billion-rand housing project closely linked to a decision that was taken by Mosebenzi Zwane, an MEC in Ace Magashule's government. So let's explore his role as well as the role of some of the others who've been linked to the Vrede Dairy farm. Now, we saw the Hawks swooping on several people involved in that Vrede Dairy farm saga, many of them connected to the Gupta family. So, for example, Kamal Vazram, who ran the Istina company, Ronika Raghavan, the former CEO of Oak Bay, which of course was run by the Guptas. A nephew of the Gupta family was even arrested. That's Varun Gupta. And they appeared in court in 2018. Those charges were withdrawn about 9 months later. But from what we understand, the case is still very much alive. No sign yet that the Guptas will be arrested. They are very far from South Africa, conveniently enough. But again, guys, the key takeaway from this is that if the Hawks and the NPA go after these people, they may have some information to share about Ace Magashule as well. And I want to stress that the web might be even bigger than just Ace Magashule. Let's explore that very quickly, because of course Busisiwe Mkhwebane is the public protector. She has taken a lot of heat about her report on the Vrede Dairy farm. In fact, the court ruled that it was totally invalid and ordered her to conduct another investigation. No indication that she was involved in any sort of corruption, but certainly questions about her ability to serve as public protector. Also questions about that man on your screen, Jacob Zuma. What exactly did he know about the Magashule affairs? And did he serve perhaps as some sort of enabler? After all, he had a close relationship with the Gupta family. And finally, guys, concerning for the ANC. Of course, the question now, what will they do if Magashule is charged and if he is convicted? The web really is incredibly intricate.
Absolutely.
It really is, and it is going to be interesting to see, as Michael Marillier says, what the ANC do once the conviction does happen, if it does happen. And also interesting what Thulasizwe Simelane said to us a little bit earlier about how we're still waiting to see that charge sheet, to see what exactly those charges will be. So plenty is going to play out today, I think.
Absolutely. The web is getting increasingly wider as we get more and more information about this case, guys.
Thank you very much, Michael Marillier.
Thank you so much, Michael.